All right, we'll begin. So as we find our seat, we connect to our Ujjayi breath. Just taking the time to arrive in our seat, in our skin, with our breath. Then we'll place the hands behind the hips, just a few inches behind. And you can go up to the fingertips, or you can lean them back, or walk them back rather. The point is to get the hands in a place whereby pushing the ground lifts and spreads the front of the chest. I'll take 3 slow, deep breaths, the point of which to feel breath as deeply and broadly inside the chest wall, the chest space. The position of the head is for comfort. And one more. Push actively downward with the arms as you're inhaling. And as you're exhaling. And then walking the hands back toward the hips. We'll bring soles of feet together, Baddha Konasana. And forward fold. And release. We'll also take a set of side bends by way of this kind of lounge lizard. So I'm setting out the right leg, so the ankle and the hip and the hand align. I'm pressing the heels outward, flexing the toes back toward the kneecaps. Now this bottom shoulder here may get kind of shoveled up a little bit. That's okay. And we'll switch sides. So I'm on the left side, left ankle, left hip, left hand. And I can't overemphasize, like slowing the breath down can really help you, one, feel the breath register in deep places. So we'll slow it down to the best of our ability. I'm going to press out through the heels, engaging the legs. And I'm allowing my weight, my ribs, to kind of slink left, down, and you have control over that. So how much you get relaxing in the shoulder and the ribs will determine where you feel this. And release. All right. So let's move to standing first. I want to do some Agnisara. But I want to do this before dolphin. All right. So Agnisara, it's the one where we'll exhale and then just multiple kind of drawings in and lettings go. Inhale into the low belly. So here, as I'm pushing my hands into the thighs, the shoulders, just like before, may shrug up quite a bit. And then exhale everything out. Stay empty. And then drawing the belly in, letting go, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 times. Take some breaths. do one more round. And we'll exhale. All right. And then open up the stance a little bit more, like a horse stance. This could be deep or semi-deep. But I like to get the knees basically over the footprint. And we'll bring both arms up, same altitude, elbows, shoulder height. Inhale into from hips, abdomen, to shoulder blades. And then exhale, pull the shoulders down by way of the armpits. So there's kind of an armpit pulling this part of the bone down. Tweezing elbow toward elbow, reaching forward, opening up the hands. And inhaling into the low back. So feeling the low ribs expand. Exhaling, pulling the shoulders down by way of the armpit. Right up in here. Engage the chest, reach the elbows forward. Just turning my elbows a little bit to the right, reaching, reaching. Place that left hand on the left thigh. And the left arm is pressing, the left arm is straightening. So again, this left shoulder may kind of hike up a little bit. And then inhale, come up right. Bring those elbows right back in front of the shoulders. Exhale, this time kind of turn to your left, reaching through the elbows or reaching through the elbows. And then place that right hand on that right thigh, pressing. So my chest is kind of leaning out over my left leg somewhere. My right arm is straightening and moving my chest over to the left. Reach the knees apart from one another. So if the knees are caving in, just kind of use your hips, draw them out. And inhale, come back centrally, heel toe feet together. And now let's set up dolphin. So we go elbows under shoulders. And exhaling, knees off ground. And then when we set the knees down, take a rest. We'll do both lunges at the wall as well as some inversion. So let's bring our mats and any additional cushion you may need over there. I'll start with my right, I guess my right knee in the corner. Whichever side you end up on, the heel is outside the hip. And then sending the hips away from the wall. So there's a lunging forward, just to some degree. It doesn't have to be, nothing has to be extreme. Hope we're getting that. And I'm going to switch sides. So here we go. And the lunging forward, so the hips move away from the wall. And let's release. We'll be working handstand horse stance or downward dog on the wall, reaching one leg away at a time. So again, if you're kicking up into handstand unassisted, handstand with legs in horse stance. If you're not kicking up, do downward dog on the wall. Reach one leg away 3 to 5 breaths per side. Cool. So I'll be working handstand horse, and I'll see you all upside down. There you go. Yes. There you go. Looking good. Nice. Got some float time in there. Yeah, that back position's everything for that. And then we can move to the top of mat, just taking your time to exit, reposition. Inhale, and draw the arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the left foot back, lunge. Remain here, curl the back toes under. Exhale, press the back knee off the ground. And use those really deep groin and butt area muscles. I'm using those bigger muscles to move things around so that I can still breathe into the pelvis. Okay. So even in your lunge, if you were to just take your fingers and just kind of push a little bit into your back tissue or the top of your buttock, it moves. So if you're clamping down on the pelvis, that may feel stiff or immovable. Still being able to breathe into that back tissue. Yeah, I will pivot that heel of left foot down to ground, warrior. Open up through all the fingers. You can feel the space between the fingers. Reaching through the elbows. The vibrancy of the arms can influence how the ribs turn or twist or bunch up or open up. So let those arms help the ribs. Fingers, hands, arms. Okay, interlace hands behind back. Ostrich. We're getting right into it. Inhale into the chest and the sternal area. Exhaling, hinge. Torso inside leg. Inhale, bring hands down, down to waist, down to ground. Exhale, chaturanga. We'll step the right foot back. Let's lower all the way down for the moment. Cobra, shifting the tail into the ground, toward the ground. Inhale, lengthening through the abdomen, lifting through the mid-spine, the chest. Exhale, lower. Reset hands under chest. Downward dog. And again, to the best of your ability, I know we all have different conditions going on in our shoulders, our elbows, our hands. But to the best of your ability, spread open the hands, engage the arms towards straightening. Again, vibrant pathways, open pathways through the shoulder, the elbow, and through all parts of the hand. And let all of that vibrant arm line help deliver the ribs away from the armpit. So there's a lengthening, a drawing back, a lengthening back of the ribs and the hips away from your nose tip. That's it. That's it. Mm-hmm. Lunge, inhale, step left foot forward. Remain right here, curl those right toes under. And then exhaling, push with those toe pads, push with that forefoot. Elevating knee. Let's pivot that right heel toward the ground, warrior one. So continue treating those arms to the vibrant life. So instead of softening the elbows and the hands, open, stretch. The only thing I'm not really doing is I'm not lifting my shoulders into my neck, but I am engaging the arms. Pardon me. Open shoulder, engaged arm muscles, open hand, reaching out, feeling, sensing into every single fingertip. There you go. That's it. Yeah, it's really amazing what arms do. Good. Here's that ostrich. Inhale, take the hands behind back, interlace, lift chest. Exhaling, hinge inside left thigh. Inhale, bring hands down to waist, release, hands to ground. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. And then again, we're not locking the joints, shutting them down or deadening them, but engage the arms towards straightening. And as the arms are engaged, deeply breathe, expanding the ribs, both expanding on inhale, but also consciously knitting, gathering, drawing the ribs back toward one another as you're exhaling. Not a fast move. The faster we do that, the harder the area around the heart seems to get. So that can be done in a very loving, conscious, felt way where we don't have to engender hardness around the lungs and the heart. So deep breath, kind of billow and spread through the chest wall and be ushered, coaxed, gathered, condensed, and ushered through. Inhale the right foot forward for arrow lunge. So I set the left knee down, the top of the left foot down, the top of the left foot down, and then exhaling, press to that top of left foot, elevating the knee. And gently set that knee down. Backing the weight up for nomads or a fold. So my weight's over my left knee. The right leg straightened. And folding. Inhale. Kind of moving out of that fold. Exhale, chaturanga. Let's step that right foot back. Lowering, inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. arrow lunge. Inhale, left foot forward. So the knee goes down, so the top of the right foot can go down. And then exhaling, pressing down through that top of foot, elevates the right knee. If something feels a little too weak or unstable, just we press, but the knee can stay down. Opening up the hands, use hands, arms, lift ribs away from hips. It's a very strong move. Yeah, it's a really high up, like groin and deep sit bone, tailbone area buttock muscles. So it's really deep and high up leg muscles near the pelvis. And then gently we'll set the knee down. Nomads, backing the hips up to fold. Yeah, and if any of these folds come across too strongly in your tissues, remember we can always block up or prop up our one hip. It's always possible to attenuate these sensations so that we're still engaging with them, but we don't have to engage the ones that send us over the edge, so to speak. All right. Now we walk, exiting out of here. Inhale, the left foot back. Exhaling, chaturanga, stepping back, lowering. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. I'm trying to give us extra moments in downward dog so that you can breathe and feel and move and express those upper ribs. This is all shoulder work, and let's just appreciate for a moment in our downward dog that our deepest shoulder structure are tied in, are connected deeply into the ribs. The deepest shoulder structures are intimately, most closely connected to the ribs. So this act of breathing dynamically and feeling those upper ribs being expressed gives our arms another chance to open, and some of those structures can soften or reposition, and being able to place those arms overhead is such a wonderful position to have through life. It's one of those, to me, it's almost like blood pressure, taking her blood pressure, having the arms be able to reach and support us or just elevate over our heads, like one of those really good signs. It says a lot about our upper back. It says a lot about our shoulders, our neck, our chest, our lungs, our breathing. So good. I'm thinking and hoping those shoulders are getting wonderful. Inhale, step the right foot forward. Warrior one. We're moving into, let me change here. Warrior, twisting warrior, and twisting interlock. We'll start right here, arms reaching overhead. And as the fingertips kind of grow full with feeling, feel for lifting and expressing, especially those, I'll say the armpit altitude ribs. All these ribs up in the shoulder blade territory. Here we go. Twisting warrior, exhaling the left elbow over the right thigh. Okay, and know that you can remain here. You don't have to do the interlock. I'm going to offer some moments to get into twisting warrior interlock. So if so, exhaling, left armpit nearer to thigh, right hand behind back. And continue feeling how am I breathing into the uppermost ribs, the upper backbones. Release. Inhale, unwind. We'll set the hands down, the left knee down. We're moving into splits. So one, if you need a cushion under your left knee, grab it. If you need blocks under your hands, grab those. If your tissues still feel a little bit chill, don't go so deeply in the splits. Remember, we're listening to our tissues, but it's not in a vacuum. We're listening to our tissues in the context of seasons, in the context of time of day, in the context of moisture, aridity, in the context of sunlight or darkness. So all of those environmental contexts are interfacing with our skin and our tissue, changing it. So there might be more fibrous or more collagenous or kind of goopier, jelloier in certain conditions. So it's not that just we're listening to our body, we're listening to our body in a circumstance. Inhale, draw our right leg out of that splits. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward. We'll get into that warrior one with some elements of twist. And at first, in this warrior one, let the bright open hands, arm lines help teach us breathing and feeling into the middle and the upper lobes of the lung. It's kind of gently working that physical breath into the lobes, into the little air sacs. As that lung tissue kind of stretches, glides inside those ribs, glide around the heart. And here's that twisting warrior, exhaling the right elbow over the left thigh. Now, as soon as we make contact, can you feel breath still occurring in those middle and upper ribs? Check the back side of the body by the armpit. Check the front of the ribs near the top of the sternum and the clavicle. Twisting warrior interlock. We're exhaling the right armpit nearer to the left thigh. Left hand goes behind back. And release for splits. Inhaling. We'll set the right knee down. And then walking the feet apart, left foot forward, right foot back. All right. Inhaling. You can draw that left foot back. Exhaling to chaturanga. Stepping the left foot back. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. When we set the knees down, we'll have a seat in half lotus. I'm going to start left over right. For a twist. So we'll twist to our left. And release. We'll switch sides. Right over left. Twisting to the right. And release. Inhaling, unwind. And we'll unwind the legs, lying back for Shavasana. If you need a final folding type of move, feel free to lie, drawing legs toward torso. Before final rest, and once at rest, feel for releasing body, the weight of body, the mass, releasing it to gravity, releasing it to ground. Let's start with the heels and the calves. And feel the knees relaxing. Feel the thigh bone relaxing into the socket of the pelvis. Feel the two halves of the pelvis relaxing and releasing down into the ground. Feel the weight of your organs. Feel how they hang, suspend, and rest inside your your torso. Feel where the blood pools or gathers as you're relaxing and releasing. Maybe it flows to a place. Maybe it starts to pool or gather. Can you feel the weight of your blood? And the weight of your head. And now, bend knees. Turn to a side and press to seated. Namaste.